Hi. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with the Pastor, episode 67. Feels like it's been a while since I've done a solo Coffee with the Pastor, doesn't it? I just wanted to show you this. If anyone's there, please say hello. I just wanted to show you this. My friend sent me this print. It says, "Oh Mary, conceived without white supremacy, pray for us trying to dismantle this shit." And I think it's great. And I'm hanging it on my wall. Who's that? Who's here? Good morning. And do you have coffee? I do. Can I see the... Sorry about that. That was a mistake. Somebody give me a shout. There's Aurelia. Good morning. Hi, Larry. Good morning, friends. Oops. I dropped my pen. I hope some folks jumped on. No coffee, but a pile of laundry. I feel that. Speaking of laundry, I'm going to talk a little about laundry today. There's some more here, but I don't know who you are. There's Matt. Hi. Yes, the print is awesome. If you just hopped on, you missed. I showed this. My friend Katie, my dear friend from Iowa, sent me this print. "Oh Mary, conceived without white supremacy. Pray for us trying to dismantle this shit." So great, huh? I gotta get a frame for it. Okay, so I want to talk this morning about some ideas that I've been rolling around in my head a bit here lately. Obviously, the consciousness of the collective humanity is changing. Obviously, we're watching that happen in real time. We're watching shifts of consciousness on a very large scale happening in real time, and it feels very unsettling and it feels very unstable. And so we're having to do a lot of self-care and grounding to try to stay centered in amongst all of this shifting. And it can be stressful, and we can hold this stress and tension with being grateful that these shifts are happening because they're very necessary and they're very needed, even while we hold in tension the lament and grief over all of the loss of life and loss of income and loss of jobs, etc., that are happening with COVID. So we're holding all of that in tension, and we're not minimizing any of it. We're also not neglecting gratitude. So I was listening to a teacher who was pointing out and naming something that I've not had a name for yet. He called it the power, freedom, control triangle. He was just observing. As we're observing what's going on in the world, we can notice that there are three things that are kind of in tension. So we've got power, we've got freedom, and we've got control. And these dynamics are playing out, and at times two will be set against the one, or set against each other. And so we can observe this, that we, like, if you just go on social media, you can see people debating issues of power, issues of personal freedom, issues of control. So, just yesterday I saw someone debating a mask, the mask issue. Like, people are trying to control us and tell us what to do. No. Then other people are like, no, it's a personal freedom issue, and we're doing this out of love for neighbor, which is the camp that I tend to fall inside of. But there's a lot you can just observe. You can observe this power, freedom, control, tension, these dynamics of that are centering around these themes of power and freedom and control. And I was so grateful to get a name for what was going on, the power, freedom, control triangle. It was helpful to me of like, good, that's a good name. I can see that happening. And when I can name what I'm observing, it helps me to detach myself from it emotionally a bit so that I don't have to get embroiled in the conflict and I don't have to get judgy about the conflict, but instead I can be a compassionate witness and a compassionate observer of what's going on in this triangle of tensions that's happening in the world. So there you go, the power, freedom, control triangle. Maybe that'll help you as much as it is helping me as I'm navigating dynamics of relationships with people who I don't necessarily agree with, and observing the conflicts in the world and observing the news. So that said, that plays out for me internally as well as externally. So then I become able to observe, well, how am I struggling with the dynamics and the themes of power, freedom, and control in my own life? So here's an example. We're looking at the school situation that's going to happen in the fall. My partner and I, we have 2 kids. They're elementary aged. We are trying to make decisions for them. And largely, we don't have very much control. We have some freedom, some power, and not much control at all except over what happens within our own home, our own space. So I was realizing and giving voice to my own anxiety about, okay, it looks like I'm going to be a homeschool parent in the fall. It looks like, hi Tori, hi Joyce, hi Ciara, good morning everyone. Talking about the power, freedom, dynamics of power, freedom, and control, and how those are playing out and how we can observe them both externally and in our own hearts, and like what's happening with us in amongst these dynamics of power and freedom and control. So we're trying to decide, what are we going to do for our kids? School's supposed to start next month, in literally under 1.5 months. So we realized that it would help us come to terms with the idea of being homeschool parents, which is not something that we would personally ever choose for ourselves or our family. Not knocking that decision. I know a lot of people choose that for a variety of reasons, and that's the right choice for them. But for me, it's never something that I've aspired to do or felt called toward or felt like I'd be good at. So having a lot of anxiety. I'm having a lot of personal anxiety about being a parent who's trying to homeschool and who's trying to work and who's an introvert, and all the dynamics of how that impinges my freedom, how I don't feel empowered to do that, and how I don't have control over the situation that's sort of, forcing me or wedging me into that decision. Oh, the school situation. Everybody I talked to is like pulling their hair out about it. So different families are going to make different decisions. There's no judgment. Everybody has a different life scenario. Everybody has different needs. For us, that's what it looks like is going to happen. It looks like we're going to be homeschool parents. And we realized as we were talking about it and working through it, that if we could make our external space, meaning our house, like if we could rearrange some things in our external world, that would help us come to terms with and lessen some of our anxiety that's happening in our internal world about that reality. So we said, okay, well, we need to rearrange some things in our house, and we need to get organized, and we need to get rid of some things and replace that with some things that would be more conducive to that scenario for us. And so we've been doing that. And we've been cleaning out and rearranging furniture and figuring out solutions that will help us help our external scenario support our internal reality and reflect so that we can be aligned in the internal and the external. You've heard people say, if your space is cluttered, your mind is cluttered, which is sometimes a hard reality to internalize. But I've learned by living and by trial and error that that's true for me. It's true for me that I need a peaceful external space so that I can cultivate a peaceful internal space. So that's very important. And I want to remind us of that. I want to remind us of, no, we do not have control over so many things right now. I do not have control over how other people wear masks and wash their hands and social distance. I have no control over, aside from I'm writing letters to the governor, I don't have any control over the Texas's response to the pandemic. These are things that I don't have control of. But what I do have control over is my immediate space, and how can I make my external space reflect my internal priorities. Radical acceptance. Thank you for saying that. So for me, that's a way that I can get into radical acceptance. So I can, and it seems a little silly. Maybe it seems a little silly that rearranging my house in some, fairly minor ways helps me to become more internally accepting of my new reality as a homeschool parent, which is not my first choice, but is just the choice that I just have to make for now, based on this scenario. Okay, so how can we manage that dynamic of power and freedom and control and help ourselves reflect a bit and help ourselves to come into alignment internally and externally? Okay, I want to tie that to the next thing that I want to talk about. Okay, which is a little bit of a departure, but I think it's related. Okay, so I'm a person who cares about the environment. I probably have been on a journey of learning to care for the environment since 2005-ish, 4 or 5-ish. Started learning about the realities of what's happening with the environment, what the realities of what's happening with, lobbying and the ways that politics affects the environment, and big corporations like big agriculture and big oil, and just how all those dynamics are interrelated. And I don't have control over those. I don't. I can vote, and I can write letters, and I can vote with my dollars, which I try to do. But aside from that, I don't have control over that. What I do have control over is my own personal practice. And I can't ever get it perfect. And I can't ever not be complicit at all. Okay? I'm never going to get it 100%. I'm never going to lessen my environmental footprint to 0. It's never going to happen. But there are some things that I can do, even in the midst of a pandemic, that help align my external reality, my external actions and decisions that I make with my internal priorities. I do have control over some of those things. Now, there's privilege wrapped up in all of it. It's a privilege to have time to even think about the environment. I'm only able to do that because my other needs are met, for which I'm grateful, and for which I recognize responsibility. I recognize that because I have the privilege of having my needs met and the privilege of being able to think about the environment and devote time to learning about it and devote time to researching things, then that brings to me both gratitude and responsibility. So I never have any judgment. We never want to have any judgment toward folks who don't have that privilege of thinking about these things, the privilege of making changes that might benefit the environment. We can't make those changes if we are ill, or if we are if all we can do right now is survive, or if I'm under-resourced. So that said, a lot of these things that I'm going to suggest are privilege dependent, and I realize that it's a privilege to choose what kind of toilet paper I buy for my household, and it's a privilege for me to try to make that toilet paper choice, external decision, align with my internal guide, which is to live with the smallest footprint possible, to live lightly upon the earth, to think toward the next 7 generations, as the indigenous wise person said, the indigenous sage. So again, I have this dynamic of power and freedom and control, and I'm just working with what I have, and I'm still trying to do my best. So I wanted to share, that was a lot of words, just to share a few things with you. I have found over these years of doing this, of trying to live lightly upon the earth, of trying to live a lower waste kind of life. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not 100%. There are ways that I fail utterly. There are frontiers in my life that I've not been able to get to a low or lower waste place, or, to lower my carbon footprint, or, there are ways I'm failing. There are ways I'm doing better. So I just wanted to share some things that are helping me to do better, and that are pretty low-hanging fruit, and for the most part, you got to have them anyway. And I've done cost analysis on them, and they're not really any different. Let me just see if there's a comment. Okay. The first that I wanted to share with you that helps me have a lower waste, imperfect, but lower waste household, are these reusable Ziploc bags. They're called Stasher bags. I bought these from the company Stasher. They come in various sizes, but basically these have replaced Ziploc bags, disposable Ziploc baggies for me. They're a little bit of investment. I recognize that it's a privilege to make a little bit of an investment in these. For me, I felt like I had the responsibility because I had the privilege to do that, so that's what I'm doing. And I think these are great. I love them. They are easy to open and zip closed, and they're easy to wash. You can stick them in the dishwasher. You can freeze them. You can microwave them. They're made of silicone. They're made of medical grade silicone, so they're not plastic. Anyway, I think these are great. And so if you ever want to lower waste by reducing your Ziploc baggie, or Ziploc baggie, whatever you use that's like a Ziploc baggie, there's an option. Stasher bags. I really love them. Here's another one. This one's easy, super easy, to, instead of buying plastic toothbrushes, buy biodegradable bamboo toothbrushes. It's very easy. There's not a significant cost difference between bamboo toothbrushes. You can cut the bristles off and then compost the handle. Aren't those nice? And they work just as well, and they're biodegradable. That is another household option that we have found. Here's another. This company I'm growing to like a lot. I don't have a sticker for the company. This is from a company called, oh, they sell bamboo ones at Costco? That's awesome. I hope they're packaged also in compostable packaging. These are packaged in biodegradable packaging. Recyclable and, oh, they're at H-E-B too. Cool. Well, see, that's even easier to make the switch from plastic toothbrushes to bamboo toothbrushes. No sweat. What is Joyce saying here? Yeah, working with what you have and giving ourselves grace as we strive to do our best, imperfectly as we may be. I'll tell you about, when I get done showing you these things, I'll tell you about some of the ways that I've not found a way forward yet, that I've just not, I'm failing, if you want to call it that. So this is from a company called Drops, D-R-O-P-P-S. It's a subscription, and I am getting from them laundry detergent and dishwasher pods. These are the dishwasher pods, and they're packaged in recyclable and biodegradable packaging. And these little things, this stuff dissolves in water, and this is plant-based, waterway-friendly detergent inside this little pod, and it cleans the dishes just fine. And the price, I priced it out, it's comparable to the to like the 7th generation one that I was buying, which does not come in compostable packaging. The cardboard that has plastic, that's shiny plastic, that's not recyclable cardboard. So, and it's not, neither is it compostable. So I'm getting my laundry detergent, which I have to buy anyway, and my dishwasher detergent from Drops. Yay. They send it to you in the mail. It's all compostable packaging, and I'm very happy with Drops. I'm out of the laundry ones for now. Okay, I have been on the Who Gives a Crap toilet paper train for a while now, and I'm super happy to be on the train of this. So this toilet paper, and they do all kinds of paper products, well, household paper products. They do Kleenex, and they also do paper towels, although I've moved largely away from using paper towels in my house. I just use cloths and wash them. But for TP, Who Gives a Crap, this toilet paper is 100% recycled. No trees were harmed in the making of this toilet paper. Additionally, this toilet paper is packaged entirely plastic free. So, all paper. I often save the papers and let the kids use them for craft projects, or I recycle or compost the paper wrappers. I guess it was over a year ago when I started using this company. Before, I was buying like the big toilet paper 48 roll thing at Costco, and it's very comparable, like within $1 of cost for 48 rolls of tree-free, plastic-free toilet paper for my household. Yay! Oh, Joyce uses Drops also. Great, me too. Who gives a crap? It's low-hanging fruit. No trees are harmed. Okay, last thing is, oops, it fell over here. One last thing that I have to show you. For those of us, ladies or not, femmes or not, who wear mascara, I got this from the Zero Waste store online, and I'm super happy with it. This is from a company called Elate, and it's mascara, and it is plant-based, and it's non-toxic, and you can see that the interior is plastic, and they'll take it back and recycle it, and the exterior is made of bamboo. So what they want you to do is they want you to take a hammer, when you're done, when the mascara is done, they want you to take a hammer and break off the bamboo parts, throw them in your compost pile, and you can send the plastic part back to them, or I think you can recycle it, but they'll take it back. So I've been really happy with my Elate mascara, which is just, it's not, once again, it's not a perfect option. It's not 100% plastic free, Yes, family cloth is an option. Bidets are also an option. I think I'm looking into the bidet option. I kind of, for me, that feels like I prefer that option over the family cloth idea. The family cloth idea was a little hard for me to get my mind around yet. So, but for now, phase one of my entree into at least tree-free, at least a better option than cutting down trees to make toilet paper. Who gives a crap is what I've chosen for now. Yeah, Elate mascara. And really it's comparable in price. And I have gotten it from the Zero Waste store. So I just wanted to share a few things with you. There are frontiers that I'm no good at, that I haven't found a good option for. One, for instance, is, oh yeah, we used washable diapers too. Yeah, I could see that being hard. One frontier that I have not had success in is with hair products, because if you haven't noticed, I have high maintenance hair. And curly hair, textured hair in general, if you don't have textured hair, you might not know this, that it's just a different beast to work with, and it's needy and fragile, and it's more high maintenance. And so moving to low or zero waste, while I have tried some things, a lot have been failures for me in terms of keeping my hair healthy and from breaking and stuff. Oh, reusable toilet paper and paper towel. Well, yeah. So I don't have a problem with reusable paper towels, but reusable toilet paper is just a little hard for me to get behind. I'm sorry. I know people are doing it, and I know that that's like there's ways for it to be sanitary. And we also used cloth diapers for our babies, and I washed it. So I think it's probably just a mental block. Oh, reusable menstrual products. Thank you for mentioning that. I didn't want to bring my Diva cup up here and show you, but I do love my Diva cup. I've been using it for several years now and am super happy to have a zero waste menstrual option. So there are other options. There are reusable menstrual pads and whatnot. There are so many ways that we can reduce our waste. I'm succeeding in some and failing in others, but I'm trying, and I feel like that's a good thing. And I hope that you guys can learn from some of my research and mistakes. And if you don't have high maintenance textured hair, you might be able to use some of the wonderful shampoo bars and conditioner bars that are on the market. The Zero Waste store sells some. You do have to be careful about them because many of them don't have the appropriate pH for hair. So I know one company that I'm going to try next round when I'm like out of shampoo next is Hybar. Hybar makes a shampoo bar that I've read great things about and heard great things about. What are the other comments? Yep, reusable pads are very sustainable. Those are also available in lots of places. Yep, not buying new clothes. Agree. Sea sponges. Is that a menstrual product? Okay, I'm learning something new. What else are you guys saying here? Well, yes, Elate. Elate. The realities of recycling versus the added carbon footprint of having so much shipped directly to my home. So I want to buy from responsible companies. I want to buy with packaging that is not plastic. And for me, it's a case-by-case basis, I guess. My priority is largely to eliminate plastic from my home. And for instance, Who Gives a Crap, I want to support them because they also, I forgot to mention that Who Gives a Crap donates 50% of their profits to building toilets in places in the world where they don't have infrastructure, which I think is awesome. So I also want to support them and support that effort. I'm not an expert on that. For me, I'm fumbling along as best I can with the info that I have. I would suggest, there's a couple of documentaries. One in particular is the Netflix, I'll post some more in the comments, is the Netflix documentary called Broken. One of the episodes is entitled Recycling Sham, and I highly recommend anyone to watch that entire episode because you will learn so much about the current state of recycling in the world. It's a sham. I won't go into any more because you can learn it from that. Anyway, I'm going on too long, so I'm going to stop. But I want to encourage us, even though we don't have control over so many things, and we don't necessarily have power over things that we'd want to have power over, and our freedoms are, we're choosing, in many cases, personal responsibility over personal freedom in this time. So whatever ways we can get our external reality aligned with our internal priorities and our internal goals and intentions, I think are ways that we can help ourselves remain sane right now. So that's what I wanted to say. Hey, I love you all, and I'll check out more comments here after I say goodbye. Bye, guys.